thermal muffler. That's all to do with the straight pipe. So we're gonna stick this son of a bitch in fucking probably in, I don't know what that is there, probably B1. We got this big fucking thing behind it. We're gonna just step it out of the way.
Back in the shop. That 4020 is out and we're working on the old Rock-o-matic 57. Kind of a project that Nick and I have talked about for a while. These tandem wheels, well, they were all right. The whole machine was kind of all right. When it was new, it was pretty good, I guess. That those little rubber tires they had here, and well, they do like to eat those up, but it follows in that track. And it sweeps the ground there for a couple feet in a horizontal pattern, which is really nice. But they really didn't they didn't build it quite heavy enough, I guess, for that part. But she's been around here since 1980, I think, 81, and picked one hell of a pile of stones. We've fixed up the bats before, hard surfaced the teeth. Well, you can't see them right now because there's still some snow on them. But the grate down there, the teeth are pretty wore out. And I made some pieces on the bottom, some noses, you might want to call them. Try to show them to you when she's thawed out. That was quite a few years ago. I had kind of fixed up the tandems on it. There's a tube in here, runs right across. There's a bearing on each end and a big threaded rod through it that holds everything together. That rod had broke. I'd fixed it up. I rebuilt it with some, what did I use? Some 2 7/8, I think. Some pipe in there, and because it was pretty wore. Even these little pieces here, these little angle irons, I guess it's to keep it from, when you twist, when you're turning, they would go quite a ways over. That one just about wore right through. And all that is a pain in the ass, but it was still working until last spring when that bearing on the caster wheel up here decided to blow apart for about the 50th time. And that was all she wrote. We had just had enough. I was going to pick it up and carry the ass end home. And in the heat of the moment, we put the McCormick on the back end of it. I was pulling it. Nick lifted it up. I put a chain on each corner. And it was going great until we decided to turn a corner. And I don't know why in God's name I put a chain on each corner and not just to the middle. But I was pulling away, 4640 on the front, barely even knew he was back there, and I almost tipped his McCormick on him. So we undone the chain, and that tire and rim kind of caught the brunt of our anger. Just drugged this son of a gun home. And I'm gonna revamp this thing. The caster wheel is gonna be no more. The tandems are gonna be no more. I'm gonna put a single axle, put it back a little bit. We have an axle out in the scrap pile back behind our shop. My dad had used one years ago to make his sprayer caddy. It's off of a 428 cockshut combine. And I think I'm gonna use the spare one out there and mount it on here. I think I'm gonna go about center of the rock bucket here somewhere, just so it carries the majority of the weight and actually put some weight on the hitch. And I'm going to get rid of this floating hitch, build a fairly big solid one. And we'll see how long that part takes. I might make it into a swivel hitch like what the new stone pickers have. So you can swing it behind you going down the road and swing it out in the field. Because it is 7 feet wide. The pickup on it's 7 feet wide, and the whole machine's, I don't know how wide it is, but when you got it sitting out to the side of you and you're way over here with the tractor going down the road, you're taking up the whole road. And these old girls didn't lift off the ground to save their life hardly. So you dump that set of wheels over there, your right-hand wheels over the edge of the road to meet somebody, and you're cutting the hell out of the edge of the road with it till you get back up on the road. Anyway, we'll do a little bit more doing here and probably bring you back. Hopefully we remember to make some more videos. Nick's a lot better at the remembering part than I am. Talk to you later. They're not so zoomed in. Yeah, like I said, Nick's better at the remembering part for the videos. Holy moly. We're 2 months later here almost. With calving and wintertime normal stuff going on. This is still on the go, but we've been kind of pushing fairly hard the last few days to keep working at it. The axle we were going to use from that 428 cockshut, well, I decided we should maybe check to see if we could get bearings and seals for it, for the hubs, before jumping in and putting that on there and then realizing you can't get parts. Well, guess what? You can't get bearings for it anymore. Imagine that, eh? Only 70 years old. So Nick had the good idea that he had a 138 Borgo over at Grandpa's there that he bought for parts with wheels and hubs on it. So that's what we're using. Nice big tires, big heavy axle, a big heavy hub. Braced up the insides. Put a piece of flat iron on there on the square tubings or rectangle tubings that they got for the axle. Put that on. Caster wheel is goodbye. The wheels really weren't that big of a deal to put on. That wasn't that hard. Kind of harder to decide exactly where I was going to put them, but anyway. The hitch has gotten to be a little bit more of a project. That sprayer caddy I talked about there a while ago that Dad had used that axle on, well, we don't use it for anything anymore. And I took some of it apart. The yellow part of this hitch is what he had made. So I chopped the one side over there off. That's what this yellow piece is over here. Added to it. I made it fairly beefy. And made a hinge over here. Put a big piece of rectangle tubing in here, braced up onto the piece of pipe. That part works good. I put a brace on right here, and it goes up on top and below the frame of the stone picker. That way, if anything tries to twist at all when you're working, well, it's got that to support it. And here we are. I'm going to put a cylinder on now. I've done some mocking up here a while ago. And tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon or something like that, we're going to put it on. That's pretty simple actually. But this hitch took some doing though. I didn't want it twisting at all, so I put lots of braces on it. Because when that bucket dumps, it really hangs out the back there, and it's going to have a lot of pull up on this hitch actually when it dumps. when it's full, I don't think it's going to put a lot of pressure on the hitch because I put the wheels sort of in the middle of the bucket so it'll carry the load. But, I mean, obviously it's going to have some. I tried to strengthen up that bushing pretty good in the middle here with a whole bunch of extra braces on it, because obviously that's pulling the whole machine, right? What else? Tried to start routing some hoses up and around here. Cylinder hoses, well, that's yet to be seen, but it won't take very big hoses to run that little guy. She's going to be really not doing any work, except when you're going down the road, obviously. It's going to be extended, but not a lot of pull on it like that. This piece right here that I made the piece go up or the brace top and bottom, well, it goes back against the frame of the machine when you're working, so it butts up against there, and so the bushing or the pin, big 2-inch pin there, and that are working together in theory. Still going to be run PTO for now. Maybe one day we'll be able to afford a big hydraulic motor to run it. We'll see. But this is where we're at. Thought I better get a video of this too, because holy shit, I keep forgetting. Maybe I'll try to remember tomorrow when we finish that part off. And I got a little bit of work to do on the lift for the grate in here. Kind of hard to see, but I'll show you that tomorrow. Talk to you later. There, maybe now we can see. Okay, there's a tube in there that runs the grate up and down. And it was let go. I farted around with it before. So I just made a support with some angle iron back here. Where the hell are you? Back there. Welded her in. It'll hold her in place good enough. Now, there. Done with you too. Yeah, we put that cylinder on. Nick got some hoses made. Here's some ORB 90s. Worked out pretty good. We braced up the front plate. The back plate is on heavier tubing, so I just put a piece of flat iron for it. Made a nice cover plate there to cover up all the grossness behind it. And yeah, it actually swings not too bad by hand. Haven't hooked up a tractor to it, but that should happen this afternoon. Had a broken tooth that I had fixed up right there. So I made another piece. One of the ones I had fixed there a while ago. It was broke off, so I made another one. But the original grate is like a cast steel. And that stuff's hard to weld onto. I guess if you heat it up first and weld to it, it's not too bad, which is what I had done originally. This time I cheated. Just done a little bit of welding around it and left it sit for a minute so the whole thing would kind of warm, and then welded her up. I guess we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna, like I say, try and lift her up here in a little while and see how she turns out, I guess. I didn't do anything with this wooden piece back here. She's getting a little rough, but it'll have to do for now. Maybe if we think of it when we're hooking up and lifting it up and whatnot, we'll do some videoing. Talk to you in a bit. Well, I think it's done. Hitch turned out not too bad. Swings over pretty far. I guess, I guess if I had a longer cylinder on it, I think that's a 18 or 16 or something like that. But moves away over from where we were before. I think when we're going down the road, the back wheel of the tractor should line right up with this stone picker tire. Might be out just a hair. We'll see. But it's going to help a lot for not gouging into the side of the road with it. Got this stuff here fixed up. How do you put a light on in here? Hang on, come back in a bit. Well, we didn't video it coming out of the shop. I wanted to kind of get a little video of it folding up and blah blah blah, but I used the McCormick to take it out of the shop. And those newer tractors have their hydraulic outlets so high up and far ahead that my hoses would have had to been another foot longer. So I just backed up a little farther with Nick there and hooked up the hoses, lifted her up, kind of functioned the hitch back and forth a little bit, did some oil in the cylinder, and we parked it out here. So I guess maybe when it's working or we get a different tractor on it, we'll get a little more video. Anyway, that's the end of the stone picker project.